Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Sheldon, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we talk about the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Man, busy last couple of weeks. Had WizKids Open, then some other stuff go on, and this weekend, of course, being Thanksgiving weekend, and blow all your money weekend. Blow all your money. Just, put it in a pile and light it up and give it to the corporate gods. So that, and I bought all my Joker's Wild stuff on top of computer stuff, on top of a very expensive date and some other things, and boop-a-doop-a-doo, there's my time. So let's just say my next 3 paychecks, I'm possibly just going to just sit on them. I'm not even going to do anything, just literally sit on top of them as best as I possibly can. And, possibly start the New Year's with a nice little investment. Looking at the CD or mutual fund or money market or something like that. Can't all be heroclix. Can't all be heroclix. So, anyway, you might be wondering, hey, Dark Logos, what's this episode about? Well, let's just be honest here. This episode is 100% random. I'm not even going to front. Initially, I was going to talk about the impact of Joker's Wild here. But the more I look at it, and the more things that are going down, the impacts aren't like the crazy impacts that people were expecting. And that's the best way I could put it, is that the impacts aren't the crazy impacts that people were expecting. More along the line, the impacts are like minor tweaks, except for one thing. And we already know what that one thing is, and then that's Bizarro Green Arrow. But let's sort of start there, since that's the biggest boulder thrown into the pond, and understanding what that figure means to the overall meta right now. I sort of talked about it a bit in the set review, the importance of Bizarro Green Arrow and all that it's trying to do, that he's the best archery target power, and how that pretty much just makes him the center of the meta universe. But here's the thing I think that a lot of people are really overlooking, which is you just shift to melee. You just shift to melee. And I think a lot of folks don't really want to believe that it's that simple. They're going to be, but Dark Logos, I'm just going to get blasted by all their attackers. Okay. Dark Logos, we know heroclix is a range game, and it's classically been a range game. Okay. Dark Logos, if I go in there, I'm going to take hits, and then, by the time I take hits and whatnot, I'm going to be a wreck. Okay. Now, most of these people are legitimate voices in the heroclix community. Some of them have been, long-time players, longer players than I've been playing, in the case of definitely Scott Crampton. But here's sort of my counter to all that. Remember Ghost Rider. Remember Ghost Rider. Now, for anybody that's been playing in the last 2 years, you didn't experience the Ghost Rider meta from Amazing Spider-Man, and what happened when that unholy terror was set loose upon the land of heroclix, and how at the World Championships, which Daniel Jones got his second World Championship, all there was freaking Ghost Rider, Brother Voodoo, Heroes for Hire. Now, I know some of you might say, hey, what's so crazy about Ghost Rider? What made him the bomb diggity, the bee's knees, the shiznit for a season that made grown men, cry and pee their pants. So let's just go ahead and look at Super Rare Ghost Rider. I think I still have I should have sold it. I got it when it was cheap because people weren't paying attention. But that's what happens when you're on this game. You're on top of your game. All right, so let's look at Ghost Rider. Now, functionally, most people would say that this is a very weak piece. And here's why. Now, this is also the age before entities, people. And we had the utility belt and the Infinity Gauntlet. Those are the two resources that we had at the time. So, be patient with us in our, archaic tech of us scrying with, chicken bones and looking at runes to summon the ancient ones so that we can have a conversation on enlightenment. So just bear, just bear with me as I take you through the blast of the past, with you guys having your modern technology and your Mitzelplix and your, smart TVs and smart homes and smart this and that, smarty pants. All right, so we look at Ghost Rider, and he has 11 movement. He has a damage power, which is called Living Hellfire Chain, and that's very, very important, people. 18 defense, invulnerable, indomitable. And he has exploit weakness. Now, he also has a transport ability, which, take it or leave it, it has its advantages. Okay. Now, so you might be asking, hey, Dark Logos, what's the big deal about Ghost Rider? Well, let's see. First off, we had ATAs are able to be assigned to characters independent of having like a theme team, and this is one of the main reasons they got rid of that. So you would assign the Heroes for Hire ATA onto Ghost Rider. Okay, so you're gonna say like, all right, whatever. Then this is also before prep time got fixed. Okay, like really before prep time got fixed. So pretty much. Prep time on the utility belt, I apologize. So you could like prep time to flurry and get +2 stats. Yes, I did say that. You could just flat pick flurry +2 stats. Okay. So it's you didn't have the ability to like have to roll on to it or all the other stuff. You could just be like bloop, I have that. Plus you had the handcuffs, which really didn't help anything because like you can handcuff people and they can't take power actions or something like that. And you extrapolate the whole thing with Batmite. I think Batmite and somebody for prob. I forgot who. So you would run Brother Voodoo, Ghost Rider, Heroes for Hire, Batmite, and whatever else you could shove in there. Okay, so a lot of people might say, that doesn't sound scary. Well, here's what happens. This is pre-errata Batmite. So Batmite would move up, only fail on a 1, brings out, Ghost Rider to wherever the heck he's at, or he could get TK'd in the weird case. I'll take that back on the TK. I don't think the TK was part of it. But now you have Batmite into position. You've already prep timed, so you're on flurry. So this is usually like turn 2. So then Batmite moves out, drops Ghost Rider. You preferably have like Brother Voodoo phase up into position, preferably to mind control anyone that's dumb enough to come out their starting area. But it doesn't matter because Ghost Rider is about to charge flurry into your starting area. So he's going to have a charge value of 8. I didn't stutter on that. I didn't stutter on that. It's a charge value of 8. So it's 11. So that's going to give you a 6 rounded up. Okay. +2 because you're +2 all stats. And you're hitting at a 13 attack, 6 damage. That's going to kill most figures. That it just is. And then here's what happens. Let's just say you hit something huge, you do your damage. Let's just say it's not dead. Then you just do the following. Living Hellfire Chain. If Ghost Rider has 2 action tokens, you may give him a free action, deal 1 penetrating damage to a single opposing character within 3 squares. That usually kills him. That usually just kills what's left. Okay, that's GG, done. And then the best part of it all, people, if it wasn't broken enough, and again, this is no damage depletion modifier either. If it wasn't broken enough, you could put on the Suit of Sorrows, so, hey, Ghost Rider now has super strength. So Ghost Rider has super strength and is able to pick up a heavy. And then just whack people. So a lot of people might be thinking, but Dark Logos, that's a lot of work. You had to build an entire team focused around Ghost Rider. And he had the possibility of doing almost three attacks. Because if, again, the opponent's dumb enough to move out, you could phase up, move up with Batmite, put your idol, which is Ghost Rider, nearby. Ghost Rider can smack a guy for free and then proceed to flurry on top of them, then Hellfire Chain them. Like, that's a lot of stuff. That's just pure and simple a lot of stuff. Okay, but that's what you could do. But you're saying, like, but Dark Logos, I got to build a team that focuses on melee, and I have to do that, and it's not fun because I like running and feeling safe using distance. You gotta get past that. Welcome to the new age. Freaking play that song in the background, because this is what we're at now, people. We have to run a mixed bag. All right, now here's the concern. Here's the legit concern. Folks will be like, hey, but Dark Logos, again, real talk, homie. How's my melee guy going to get across the map and not get shot to death? Well, real talk, homies, back at you. There's these cool characters that WizKids has been prepping us with. And there's 3 in particular that can help you have a, rainbow magic day. Cue the Lucky Charms guy, okay? Number 1, first one that's introduced recently is Pixie. Number 2 was Vanisher. And number 3 is Overdrive. And if you haven't, gotten a Milton Bradley clue of what I'm talking about here, it's super hyper carries. Like, you could even say before that, Manifold was a hyper carry. Okay. Just somebody that's able to just pick up a bunch of figures and plop them down. And I think that's one main reason that what they've been setting us up for. That they want us to fully think about the whole entire game, not just part of the game. And the players keep wedging themselves into this limited faction. Limited faction, which is range is king. And the only time that people will be pro melee is with hypersonic speed, but hypersonic speed in and of itself is utilizing a range mechanic, which is I do my attack, I'm not stuck there, and I can go around the corner, so there's enough distance and materials in between us that I am by proxy safe. So when we start looking at things, we can easily make a couple of quick decisions. Quick decision number 1. Melee is very viable in combination with a transporter of some sort or a delivery method. Other thing is melee is very viable with barrier. I'm sorry. It's the blatantly obvious fact that barrier is really good right now because of Bizarro Green Arrow. And again, some people might say, what the heck are you talking about, Willis? Okay. But think about it. If I am dealing with a range team, you got Nick Fury chilling in the cut. He's taking his shots. Nick Fury can't shoot around barrier. Okay? And to my knowledge, there's only like one or two characters in the meta right now that have improved targeting, destroys, blocking. One's Gravity Feed Green Arrow, and the other one is Original Avengers Iron Man at full points. And if there's another one, please forgive me. I can't keep track of them all. Okay? But those two in particular are rather expensive. So even if you do blow through the wall, more power to you. You dropped over 130 points for that sucker to come into the game. Okay, so that he is your team. He has to work. Okay, so there's that fully. So I give you, a hand clap for that. All right. So when we start seeing, like, all right, if we're dealing with the average attacker or the average, salvos that are going to be coming our way, let's realistically ask ourselves, in modern age, how many 8+ ranges are there? Okay, so we're going to, and I'm just going to flat out just make it modern age. Range is, I'm going to be like 8 equal to or greater than 8. And the reason I'm saying 8 is really the high end that makes melee, I would say, almost moot. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so we got Gray Gauge, but really, like, who's playing him? Who's playing Gray Gauge? I don't know who. We'll check out Gray Gauge maybe another day, but I know nobody really wants him. Okay, so we got Fat Tubby Mephisto. Nope, nobody's playing him. Firestar. Nobody's playing her. Shuma Gorath. Hey. That's not bad. Zombie Galactus, Captain America Sentinel. Nobody's playing these. Supreme Intelligence. I've seen one. Let's see. Dormammu. Prize support Dormammu. Who's playing Dormammu? Okay. Prize support Doctor Strange. Mephisto from Superior Foes. Captain America Civil War storyline OP. Doctor Strange. Okay, Captain Iron America. Now I can see somebody playing him. He's good. He's really good. He's scary good. Let's see. Magneto from Uncanny X-Men, Professor X, Phoenix. Nobody's playing Phoenix. Proteus. Okay. People were playing Proteus. Chase Mags. Okay. So you got, what was this? This is Rare Mags. White Suit Mags has an 8 range, 90 points, running shot, 11 attack, 4 damage, and enhancement. A great piece. Who's playing multiples of that? Nobody. And I mean, like let's we keep scrolling down, and I know you can look at the full list yourself. Okay, so here's Nick Fury. There's Jane Foster, Thor. Okay, we got Quasar. We got some stuff on this list. Okay, but a good chunk of this stuff, nobody's playing this stuff. No one's playing this stuff. Okay, so we got Batmite, Superman Wonder Woman duo, Trinity of Sin. We haven't seen Trinity of Sin in over 2 years. Okay, Arrow Pack. Nobody's playing Arrow. Okay. Black Lightning, he just came in, so that's not fair. Spectre, Deadshot, Jakeem Thunder. Okay, that out of everything that I've talked about, that's like the first legit, Jakeem Thunder. That could actually be devastating if he got pimped out. Okay, so right there is our first, Okay, so we got one 225-point Superman from Dawn of Justice, freaking Evil Eye Superman. Okay, again, we've seen that played. All right. 90-point Superman, shifting focus Superman. Okay, there's a chance of that being played. Okay. Let's see. Supergirl's 200-point Superman. We haven't seen it. No. We actually take that back. That's not 200-point Superman. That is Kingdom Come Superman. We have seen that. We have seen Kingdom Come's Green Lantern, Kingdom Come Spectre. We have seen Brutal. We haven't seen Apollo. We haven't seen Dr. Fate. We haven't seen Green Lantern from Superman Wonder Woman. We only see Eclipso as an entity. Mitsuplik, but hey, he's mainly doing Pulse Wave. Okay? Red Sun Superman, nobody plays him. Nobody plays him. Batman, Superman, Robot, yeah, we'll see that. Solaris, we'll see that. But mainly Solaris as a Colossal Retaliator. I mean, unless you're, Warren Jinn, then yeah, Warren Jinn is the only person that's played Solaris outside of a Colossal Retaliator. Let's see, Dr. Light, nobody plays that. Green Arrow, the standard Green Arrow from Justice League Trinity War, nobody plays that. Nick Necro, no one plays that anymore. No one plays Envy, no one plays Sloth, no one plays Roy Harper. Okay, no one plays Apollo from the Flash set. No one plays Abracadabra, Gorilla Grodd, and we debate about Jenny Sparks, but she doesn't really show up. So when all is broken down and said and done, what we are really dealing with is a relic of the past that is still in our brains of, remember 8 range? Remember 10 range? Remember long range? Like you're freaking Steve Kerr, making 3-pointers. We're not shooting like that anymore. The average range is 7. Okay? More commonly, the average range is becoming 6. And I really want people to understand that. And when you start factoring in a couple of key things that really get scary when you start thinking about it, you're going to start realizing like, our range situation isn't as safe as we thought it was. Number one, and on the top of the list, right there, is Fast Force's Jean Grey. Now, Fast Force's Jean Grey does something magically delicious. Again, I don't know what it is about Lucky Charms. I just ate, and I'm still a little hungry, so I'm probably just thinking about cereal. That's probably why. But Jean Grey has a free action TK. She can do it after she's been carried. It's a free action. Okay, so she can be TK'd in position, bring up Bobo the Clown, and Bobo the Clown can go and clown you. Okay, just with a charge attack. And a lot of people don't even think about that. Oh, I can carry up Jean Grey with my Hyper Taxi. Jean Grey TKs up whoever my charger would be to whatever square it would be, and that charger proceeds to attack in utter safety. And I can functionally say that I can make a charge piece that has a coverage of 12 squares. 12 squares is reasonable. Let's just break it down. Let's not even say 12 squares. Let's just say at least 11. Okay? At least 11. All right? So now, really start thinking about that difference. Okay, so if my opponent is moving up, and for their ranged methodology to work, they have to like really get out there and move up and be in a certain position before they can unload their salvo on top of me. I could just sort of come back and say like, all right, cool, bro, cool story, bro. I'm just going to chill in my starting area and wait until you're midfield. Have my Hyper Taxi carry Jean Grey up 8. Jean Grey TKs my melee figure. And it doesn't matter that you have freaking, Bizarro Green Arrow next to you. I'm about to, charge flurry you for 6 damage. Total after all said and done. Your character's dead. And we've already gone over how characters being shorter clicks, what the impact of that means. Okay, so that's another show. You can go and look up that show. Okay, and I think actually I've talked about it twice. Once after I think Civil War, and then once like a month or two ago. Okay, so when we start looking again, we're breaking stuff down. Jean Grey is the number one reason that Melee can't come back. She fills that same role that Batmite did for the Heroes for Hire situation. the Ghost Rider Heroes for Hire. Okay. So the next thing I really want us to look at is this. I want you to look at range equals 0. Okay, it's in the never mind. Just range is 0. Okay, range is 0. Modern age, and then we're looking for charge on first click. And again, some people might say, well, Dark Logos, why aren't you going more in depth about hypersonic speed melee? Because everybody's already going to be looking at hypersonic speed melee as the main option of dealing with Bizarro Green Arrow. So, I mean, unless someone requested, I don't really feel the need to unpack it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start right at the top here. We got some cool stuff that we can start playing around with. And these are like low points. All right, so we got the Fast Forces, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in the Half Shell. Okay, Leonardo. Okay, so he has charged off on team ability, 11 attack, 17 defense, 3 damage. He has a special power. Okay. So here's a cool thing. He can, if he hits a single character with his attack, he can use Force Blast as a free action, and the target is given an action token if it doesn't have one already. So he has like a knockback plus an end cap sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Now, some people think like, oh, I'm going to do the attack, then Force Blast happens. No, you get roll Force Blast. Like that Force Blast, the good Force Blast. Okay, so we can see here, he has invuln up front. He's really cheap, a really good starting value. He's 75 points. He has Empower, so he's there to help your follow-up attack. And he has the ability to, if you play it right, to actually make your opposing character closer to your follow-up attacker using that Force Blast. Okay, so there is that. All right, so I'm gonna do another Ninja Turtle because I normally have poo-pooed on them. All right, so here one of my favorites right here, Common Michelangelo. Common Michelangelo, 50 points, charge, flurry. Each time he hits an opposing character after action resolve, you may give that character an action token. The Wop Wop Michelangelo. Okay, the Wop Wop Michelangelo, by far one of the underrated, strongest figures in heroclix for his point cost. And he's a low investment. A really, really, really low investment. And so, again, if I can combine that Michelangelo and that Leonardo, and I'm just, working them together, they can do a lot of damage. And people also forget, you can modify Mikey's damage output, and that charge flurry coming in like that, it's like, hey man, I'm hitting you for 5, and then 5 again. It's like, yeah, for 50 points, that's dumb. That's dumb. Again, you have to have the stat mods. I know people. I know I gotta pack the perplexes and all that other jazz, or have the empowers, blah, 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 blah. But man, we already know you have at least 2 Henrys. You have at least 2 Henrys. I mean, I'm not going to front. I'm not going to pretend that you don't if you listen to this show. You might have 3. You might have 3. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. Hear my voice. Hear my voice right now. I'm not judging you for having 3 Henrys. So anyway, going on, let's look at some other characters that have charge in their first click. Hulk and Red She-Hulk, because no one's playing that. But that's pretty nice. Okay, you got Common Spider-Man. We got the Cottonmouth. That's not bad. We have Kraven, 75-point Kraven, and the Prime Kraven. Actually, yeah, the Super Rare and the Prime. Both are really solid for what they do. You also have Drop Bears, because those are also a thing. You have the Civil War She-Hulk, and I thought thought Miss Marvel was a charger. Okay. I was wrong. Okay, I was just wrong on that. Stature is, I gotta say, is probably one of the best giants out there right now for what she does. Just great. Let's keep going. Well, Wolverine, the 115-point Wolverine isn't the greatest, but he's all right. The 50-point Wolverine is a little bit better if you can finagle his dial, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. All right, here we go. Now this is more high end. This is let me rephrase this. This is high end play. When you're really, let me rephrase this again. This is high end cost and requires you to have a high level of play. Is playing Rogue from Uncanny X-Men. Now, Rogue at 90 points, I think too many people have slept on her on that. But Rogue at 150 is also viable as well. Now, Rogue at 90 points, you get all the traits. And so I think that's great. But when you get to the 150 point, you only have like one special power anyway. So there's that. So Red Wing has no, that's the Bird Red Wing, not Robo Red Wing. So let's just scroll down to DC real quick, so everybody's not like you're a DC hater. Okay, so we got Kingdom Come Hawkman, 120 points, 6 clicks deep. We have Lobo, probably support Lobo. I think that this has potential. Because you really don't want to hit him. And if you do hit him, it can be a really bad day for you. Depending on how many, clones he's able to get out there. And you start combining that with like Round Table and other stuff. Like it can be a really bad day. I don't think people understand how ridiculous Lobo can actually be. But again, I'm just some dude on the internet. Okay. Let's see here. Wildcat, the Hawkman from Joker's Wild, which again becomes ridiculous because Hawkman ID card. But look, for 30 points, we have charge, 11 attack, 18 defense, 3 damage. And forget the whole simpler time. Hell, forget the fact that it has a Justice Society TA. You have a 10 moving taxi with 11 attack, 3 damage. I mean, right there, it's a valuable 30 points. Okay, so you can't be angry at that. There's Bane with the entire dial of charge. Let's keep going here. I'm a fan of the 50-point Elastigirl because she could just go colossal and now you just increase her stats. And you haven't invested that much. Okay. So that's great. That's really, really great. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's someone we've talked about for a while. This is Wonder Woman, but we're looking at her at 125 points from Superman, Wonder Woman, The Chase. She is a really strong piece. Early on, that very few people really understood how good she actually was, and that she was the second best Chase, because the Brainiac was the best, just for pure utility. This Wonder Woman is the actual best figure on the board being played out of those set of chases. Now, Green Light comes in a very close third, but we're not talking about range right now. Okay, so we got Wonder Woman there. We also have... I'm just trying to look at people that I feel are actually like viable. No, I think that's it. That's it for right now for charge. And again, I'm using charge, not hypersonic speed, because I know And I'm also looking at 0 range. Now I know some of you might be saying like, but so and so has charge and they're good and they have range. And I'm just trying to prove this point that you don't have to fight fire with fire. You can fight fire with a chemical compound that smothers the flame. Okay? Like you can easily do that as well. But people like throwing fire back and forth and watching the world burn. And that's an idiot's endeavor. Okay? And I mean, here's honorable mention. 50-point Colossus. 50-point Colossus. Okay? 10 attack, invincibility. Sorry, not invincibility. Yeah, invincible. Sorry, it is invincible. Super strength. He has the potential to do, 5 damage. He has that all new, all different X-Men, which is really not all new or all different. So is he the greatest little piece? No. But out of, an option that you can pack onto your team, that's really easy to do when you don't want to invest in stature, which is way better option. Way better option. Or even Elastigirl, which again, really good option. She can turn tiny and you can carry her, and then she goes a nutchuck on them fools. Really, it's that simple. Oh my gosh, it's that simple. But you can pack these cheap options into your team. So the issue that I'm seeing, the issue that we're going through right now is melee viable? The issue that we're going through right now is, can the community adapt for integrating melee into our standards of play? And I think WizKids is going to do the best job they can to prevent a Ghost Rider-like character from appearing again. Okay? And I really want to emphasize that. A Ghost Rider-like character from appearing again. Now, why did Ghost Rider appear? First off, no one looked at Ghost Rider until he showed up in, I think, a Nationals or something like that. But here's the elements that he had. He was able to attack multiple times. He was able to have ridiculous amounts of stat boost. He utilized a resource. He had a secondary character that was just as powerful as he was, i.e. Brother Voodoo. And on top of everything else, he had probability control. I think he had 2 probs. He had 2 probability controls. So he didn't really need to outwit in most situations, even though he could prep time to outwit. Just bear with me. Okay, so he could prep time to outwit. He didn't need to outwit. And that's a really big distinction that a lot of folks sort of fall away from. But anyway, sort of going on. He had access to a lot of utility. He also had access to a lockdown, which was the cuffs, and he can have multiple sets of cuffs to use as well. So when you factor in, a team ability, a secondary attacker, a insane stat steroid, WizKids has done his best to avoid those types of characters. Okay, the closest that we've even gotten in this game, as of late, is Krang. But Krang punishes you for the stat bump, and you have to have Justin to attack twice. So if there's another character that, in all honesty, in this game, that can charge flurry and is a robot, watch out. Because Justin will just, make it horrible. But Justin will end up retiring here in the next retirement. He's not going to see the next World Championship. He's gone. It's been 2 years. So there's that as well. So anyway, like I said, you can sort of see the recap. I didn't finish listing out all the things that Melee, is good other than Jean Grey. But sort of going back real quick to that, Barrier is number 2. Jean Grey, then there's Barrier, then there's the Hyper Taxis. And then here's the other thing that I think that's also ridiculous. And if you want to do that fight fire with fire thing, is that if you have a scary enough melee piece that can fly and also carry, you just bring along your own Bizarro Green Arrow. And I'm saying this for one distinct reason. Everybody is still thinking in this salvo, return salvo. Who can burn out who's, Bizarro Green Arrow first for, the potential win? I burn a Nightwing ID card so I can heal Bizarro Green Arrow. No. You just say, I am marching full on up with this scariest, meleeest dude that you've ever seen. And he's going to wreck you. And you won't be able to Bizarro Green Arrow Jack. I have one. You have one. If we all have one, eventually logic would dictate that Melee would be in. And it would phase him out for a season for one distinct reason. If no one is using range, or if there's very few range options, and this cat has and Bizarro Green Arrow has the ability to redirect pulse wave, single target pulse wave attacks, then guess what? People are going to start saying, like, you know what, I'll just run melee. I can run pure melee. And there's some really good Colossals that can do melee stuff. Brimstone, 150. Really good figure for melee. You can also look at the Atom as a good figure. Titano, good figure. Okay, so there's options on the table. It's just people don't want to roll with the options. They're like, oh my gosh, the ancient laws of heroclix brought down by Brother Magneto from the Temple of WizKids. And if you don't know who Brother Magneto is, that's fine. The ancient ones know who Brother Magneto is, and we speak his name in remembrance and honor. Okay? Unlike the demon and Judas Tuttle. Rebuke Tuttle, spit on his name. Say it 3 times with me. Rebuke Tuttle! Rebuke Tuttle! Rebuke Tuttle! Again, old heads, I know you're laughing right now. Everybody else is like, who the hell's Tuttle? Who the hell's Brother Magneto? But anyway, just you can see how the logical paradigm will occur. And then eventually people are going to notice that there's all these melee guys running around, and people will stop packing Green Arrow, Bizarro Green Arrow, and then range will come back in some fashion. But the people that are going to ride the storm out the best are the people that are properly going to integrate melee options with range options. And then sort of say like, hey, oh, you have that Bizarro Green Arrow. Good for you. I mean, good for you, man. You had the money, or you got lucky, or you had somebody that let you borrow it. Cool, bro. Cool story, bro. I have this guy that can just, go up there and whack you with the Ultra Heavy. Does that work? Oh, I think it does. Cool, bro. Like, who are you going to do? What you going to do? You gonna kill my main ranged attacker? You going to shoot him, or you going to shoot my melee guy? Okay. So if you're gonna go after my ranged attacker, okay, cool. That's fine. Your Bizarro Green Arrow still has to absorb the damage output that I'm throwing there. So he'll take 1 or 2 here and there. All right, great. But just also remember, man, I got this melee guy that's going to hit you upside the head with Ultra Heavy. Just being honest. Just being honest. So, anyway, I like I said, I'm waiting for the creativity to come out. I know some people are going to be like, but this, that, and the other. Like, nah. Get some melee action. And then I know I touched on Jakeem Thunder, and I know some people in the community, other podcasters, say that, Jakeem Thunder, since he doesn't have willpower, is not going to be as scary as Super Skrull. And I'm like, did y'all forget, like, Super Skrull didn't have willpower either? Like really? Like, did y'all really forget that? Up front, he didn't have willpower, and the dude pushed a lot. And of course, I dropped my keyboard and did some combination of events that has caused Firefox to not respond. You gotta love that. So, unlike the ability to just, like, quickly bring up Super Skrull, I can't because I've also broke my internet. Okay, so I'll look up Super Scroll, and I'm just going to prove my point here. So Super Scroll, and oh my gosh, there's no willpower on him whatsoever. Oh my gosh. And but you're gonna say like, but food tokens, dark logos, like he could come back from the dead. Okay, so let's just go ahead. We're going to select Super Scroll. Then we're going to go get Mr. Jakeem Thunder here. Okay, so Jakeem Thunder. And we're just going to do a side-by-side comparison. And I'm not being a bitter dude. And nor am I just being, pro Jakeem Thunder because he's black. I'm not. Okay. And also, public service announcement, do not buy the variant version of Jakeem Thunder. He looks horrible. I messed up and I did that and I regret it. He looks horrible. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's see. They both start with sidestep. Super Scroll starts with barrier. Jakeem Thunder starts with energy shield deflection. Super Scroll starts with close combat expert. Jakeem Thunder starts with prob. Let's look at the stats. The stats are almost exactly the same, except for Jakeem Thunder has one more movement than Super Scroll. Okay? If we look at range, Super Scroll has a 6 range. Jakeem Thunder has a 8 range. Okay. Then we can look at click 2. Super Scroll has charge, poison, no defense power, and perplex. Jakeem Thunder has energy shield deflection and prob, and still a 4 damage. So I have a 10 movement sidestep, and I can still pick charge, or I can pick hypersonic speed, or whatever else. And now some of you could say, but Super Scroll could charge flurry. I'm like, yeah, Super Scroll could charge flurry. That is legit. But so could Jakeem Thunder, because Jakeem Thunder just says, at the beginning of your turn, choose 2 standard powers. But only one of those powers may be a defense power, hypersonic speed, outwit, perplex, or pulse wave. Jakeem Thunder can use the chosen powers until your next turn. So Jakeem Thunder, if he wanted to, he could pick charge and flurry. There's nothing stopping that. Okay, so right there, boom. I'm gotta go with Jakeem, because Jakeem could just be like, yeah, I can sidestep or running shot or hypersonic speed. I could charge flurry if I wanted to, or I could sidestep flurry, still energy or something like that. And I have prob the entire time. Okay, so then you go to the next click and you're like, oh, who still has better freaking movement? Jakeem Thunder. Attack is the same. Defense is the same. Now I got toughness. And I still have prob. And I'm 30 points less. So that I can, if I so chose to, I can, go ahead and just slap an entity on them. And I'm still cheaper than freaking Super Scroll. I have regen naturally. Anyway. But, again, Jakeem Thunder, yay, JSA, all that other good jazz. He can get a defend of doesn't matter, because there's nobody giving him a 20 in modern age, unfortunately. Or anybody that's really good that's giving him a defense value that's any good. So, yeah. The only thing he really benefits from is the simpler time crap. And, yeah, that's really it. Is that simpler time crap. But realistically, no one else is really using it. But, so going on, you can start to see how Jakeem Thunder is viable. And I know people are saying, again, look, you don't have the ability to take a lot of damage and come back. But look how the meta adjusted for Super Scroll by packing Pulse Wave. That ability wasn't guaranteed. And even with Black Canary ID card specifically being there to kill Super Scroll near the end of his life cycle, it was not as strong as people thought in terms of, undying, completely undying. So there is that. That is a reality. that a Super Scroll player had to deal with. Also, hey man, guess what? If I pick my powers, and yes, I'm able to pick 4 powers, unlike Jakeem, I hurt myself. So the ability to go down the dial on Super Scroll is a lot easier than it is on Jakeem Thunder, because Jakeem Thunder is only taking pushing damage and damage from an attack, whereas Super Scroll is taking feedback damage, pushing damage, and damage from the opponents. Now, the only advantage Super Scroll has over Jakeem Thunder, and I mean, like, realistically, look at the numbers, look at the stats. Just look at the numbers and look at the stats. It's right there. Jakeem Thunder's better. But the only advantage that Super Scroll has over Jakeem Thunder is the Scroll TA. That's it. That's literally it. That one thing can save your butt so many times. Because a Super Scroll player can easily be like, I have scrolls plus my entity that's giving me damage reduction. I pick Super Senses and I pick Shape Change. So I have 3 outs. And if I have Impervious, I have 4 outs. Versus Jakeem Thunder, who's like, well, I can pick Impervious from my entity and I can pick Shape Change. And I have a prob. And then I can pick Super Senses. So then, again, you have to be very dependent on that prob if you get hit, because everything else from there is like super luck. Okay, so I just look at Jakeem Thunder as like a safer bet. And someone's going to come back, but, you know, Dark Logos, you just come up and then, you know, you get them low, and then you just come in and pulse wave them. And I'm like, well, that's the same exact thing that you could do to Super Scroll. Same exact thing. Anyway, I'm getting a headache. I gotta take a brief swigs of the waters. All right, so we're, you know, the swigs of water is done. But when we start, like I said, when we look at the whole affair, we start asking ourselves, like, hey, where is Jakeem Thunder going to land in the meta? And I know everyone's like, he's going to land at the bottom because we're going to put him there. Not our, you know, heroclix Super Scroll replacement. But I do think where he's going to start fitting in is mystical theme teams. Now, what was Super Scroll's limitation? Super Scroll had crappy keywords. Jakeem Thunder only has 2 keywords, but his keyword he does have, oh gosh, that mystical, man. That mystical. So what I'm going to do real quick, just to make a point, I'm going to say mystical. I'm going to look, okay, so we're going to look at modern age, not less than 400. Less than 100, okay. Modern age, and then we're going to look for keyword mystical. Okay. And then I'm going to show you why you need to be afraid of Jakeem Thunder. All right, so here we go. All right. Let's see here. Rat King. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's not that useful. All right, let's get started. All right, first off, there's the con exclusive Ghost Rider, which is not bad, not the best, but it's not bad. You have Prime Craven, you have Mephisto, you know, at 45 points. You have Old Man Spider, but nobody likes him. Okay, for those who are on the Wiccan hype train, you have Wiccan. You have Civil War. Doctor Strange, which, you know, he can be interesting. He can be. Uncanny X-Men, Scarlet Witch, which really isn't bad. Pixie, the Hypercarry, which doesn't really help in this case, but Pixie, the Hypercarry. You have access to Blazing Skull, which is a really good piece. Howard Brock proved it. Iron Fist from Age of Ultron. He's not bad. I like the Hood at low points. Again, some people will sleep on it. It's really not a bad piece. Some people will say it's not worth a super rare. Here's a game changer, and this really is a game changer, and this is Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch. Now, let's go and break her down real quick, and some of you may remember and some of you may not. It says, Uncaging the Beast, give Scarlet Witch a free action, and when she has 2 action tokens, and choose a friendly character within range and line of fire. Modify the chosen character's combat values by +1 until the end of the turn. And at the end of the turn, deal Scarlet Witch 1 unavoidable damage, and don't clear her action tokens. If the chosen character's name is Hulk, you may modify the chosen character's combat values by +2 instead. Now, you go take Scarlet Witch, and if you have 2 of her, it's overkill, but you really don't need to have 2 of her. You just, give her a token turn 1, give her a token on turn 2. She has willpower, so she won't take the initial push. Perplex up whatever stat you want to make it a +1, and then use Uncaging the Beast to make all the stats +1, and again, the one you perplexed before is now a +2. When we start looking at Jakeem Thunder, all of a sudden he starts getting scarier because he's a 9 range, 11 movement, 12 attack, 19 defense, and a 5 damage. And you can perplex up his damage, so yes, that's a 6 damage. And oh yeah, I'll just have Psychic Blast, so I'll get past your damage reduction, or I pick Pulse Wave to guarantee to get past everything. And yeah, you're taking 6 damage. Now, again, some people will say, Edward, you're exaggerating. That's just one character out of your whole list that actually, changes things. Who else can change things? All right, so let's look at Pandora, because Pandora from the the team base has the ability, just says, hey, you can use probability control twice per turn, and you may not target the same character with it more than once per turn. Opposing characters must be given an action token when they use probability control. That's not bad. That's really not bad. All right. Who else is there? Dr. Fate, 40 points. He has the ability to choose enhancement or empower. And he has an 18 defense. He's not bad, not the greatest. Spectre, 40 points. I like him a little bit better because you have every incentive to keep him out of range and use him as a taxi with a 12 movement. And he has phasing. And again, people I was saying, what do you need for melee? A taxi? Oh, hey, here's one. He has shape changing. He has super senses. But if you keep pushing him, he can get to 11 attack, 3 damage with an 8 range. So that's ridiculous right there. Or you could team him up with 2 of my favorite homies. The Green Lantern from Joker's Wild. And at 35 points, they could sit, 7 squares out and just decide to, bust shots. And if you can, combine that with, Book of the Skull, not Book of the Skulls, freaky. Yeah, Book of the Skulls would be great. With Pandora's Box, now they have sidestep and they have combat reflexes, so they're +2 defense to everything. Okay, so, that's there. Oh yeah, Clarion the Witch Boy. Oh, I forgot about him. And he can pop off Tico the annoying little cat from hell. Okay, so there's that. And oh yeah, I can bring in KC Green Lantern on his lower point dial with Isolated from This World. And if I really want a good road dog, I could also pop off a low point 35 point Spectre. And if I'm really, really, really drinking that pick a power Kool-Aid, somebody I preached about before, nobody listened to me. There's Hat. Okay, so I'm listing off option after option after option after option. Oh. I forgot one. And I knew his time would come. And I think it is now. And too bad I won't get to fully see the promised land of it. Because the Messiah came, too late. You won't be able to do it for Origins. Tim Hunter. Tim Hunter can copy the powers of a mystical character. And it's like, what was it? Freaking mentored by the Trenchcoat Brigade. Give Tim Hunter a free action and choose an adjacent friendly character with the mystical keyword and one or more action tokens. Tim Hunter can use the powers possessed by that chosen character, until the beginning of your turn. There you go. Just full on perplex prob stupidness right there. Just more of that for 58 points. Oh, and did I forget to tell you about Faust? I think I forgot to tell you about Faust. So, again, Jakeem Thunder, I know everybody's entitled to their opinions, and mine can stink at times, but I really do think that he is the truth. He's our Apollo Creed. He's going to come in there and whoop some butt. Hopefully we don't face the Russian. Who will be Red Star or something? I think that would be the Russian. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna wrap up here. I've rambled, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I'm sorry for not having stuff up. I spent a bunch of time trying to edit my WizKids Open experience, and I'm going to tack that on to the end of the video here, so you get to actually like watch something. So hey, people, you're actually going to be able to watch this. So again, I apologize to all that are involved in this video, because I told them it was probably going to be up way earlier than the final release date. But for those who are wondering, like, what did you play at the WizKids Open? I played Brimstone at 150, and already right there, you're like, Dark Logos, you're on this stuff. I played Faust. I hated every minute of it. I played Justice Seifert, Pandora's Box with 2 sins, 2 ID cards, which were Shield level 7 card with Nick Fury and Peggy Carter options, and Nightwing ID card to bring in Tony Zuko Nightwing, because it's really not, you're paying 5 points not for Nightwing, you're paying 5 points for Tony Zuko. Like, that's really it. Everybody that's telling you otherwise is a liar, and the truth is not in them. Okay, so there you go. So that was my team. It was primarily built to try to kill a Don't Die team, and I lost to a Don't Die team because I failed to transition into what I needed to transition into until like the last 5 minutes, and then at that stage I lost. There wasn't anything I could do. So, all right. So there's video after this. If you want to email me, you can email me at startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome, baby. Let me know what you want Santa to bring you for Christmas. Then you can also follow me on Twitter at StartOverPod. It came from outer space and said, man, you need to go on a budget like right now. Yeah, you can find out when the newest episodes are up. And yeah, that you can get a shirt for Christmas. Get a Starting Over Podcast shirt. There are random TeePublic sales all through the month of December for shirts. So you can go and, get a Starting Over Podcast shirt or a Phoenix Nest shirt. So check that out. All right. Going to lead into the video. If you like it, let me know. Also, I was able to get a cheapo like flight drone thingy, and so I'm gonna be doing that here in a little bit. I'm gonna play around with it. You probably might not see anything of it until next year, but I'm gonna try to see how it works, what I need, and am I going to be able to get it all functioning and whatnot. So, all right. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Hey guys, what's up? I'm here at WizKids Open in Springfield. I just decided, I'm out at a tournament. I see a cool person with the yo-yo.
Like she's making it awesome here. Like just makes me realize I can't do that. That's way better than anything I can do. So WizKids Open, of course, it can't be a WizKids Open without a challenge of some sort. My challenge this time around is Mr. Daniel Powell from Clickstoff. Yep. Also, a top 8 player from Rock World this year. So, yeah. So this is gonna be interesting. We got what? How many people we got?
22 registered.
We got 22. So we're most likely gonna break to a top 8. I might talk to Daniel a little bit later, have him give the insight into the wonderful world of heroclix. Explain about how his new magical tech that he's developing is changing everything. So, other than that, it's pretty cool. Everybody's been real friendly here.
And that's true.
And we're at, I guess, was it Metagames University? They have a nice little not yo-yo. See, sidetrack. Logo over there. They have pinball machines because this is a gaming university. All right, that's it for right now, and I'll try to get some more interviews and other stuff as the day progresses. Hey guys, it's been an exhausting 3 rounds. We broke to top 8. We're about to go into top 8. I made top 8 here. Mr. PJ Bolin. I mean, not PJ Bolin, Daniel Powell. I'm tired, people. I'm tired. Mr. Daniel Powell's made top 8. We unfortunately had to play each other in round 3 in one of the most knockdown, drag out fights of heroclix. So, yeah, we both made it. Oh, man. So I'm coming off of lunch. Got a light lunch in me. So we're going to go see into out rounds. Hopefully I can make it through all the rounds. So that's it. I'll see y'all in a bit. I'm here with the winner of the event. You can state your proxy name.
Nick.
Okay, he doesn't want to be on camera, so I'm just showing you an empty chair and with some child over there. I don't know who that is. But we're going to just show you an empty chair. You won the WKO. I got 3rd place.
Well, I actually got 2nd.
You got 2nd.
We got to start. Is this done?
No, we're
okay.
No, we're not. We're still recording. So you were playing a pretty cool team, something that some folks may have overlooked in the meta. Can you tell us your team here?
It was Casey Flash, Doc Magnus, Mercury, Pandora's Box, and 2 ID cards.
Okay.
Super slingshot team.
Okay. So how did that team work out for you, and why do you think it did as well as it did?
Because no one had plasticity. The one guy had plasticity, but I sidestepped, broke away from it, and that was it, man.
Pretty much, it's like because no one has plasticity, you were able to win as well as you did. Okay, cool. So what was the development process of you making that? And I'm going to try to, like, if I could delete the video, I'm going to try to just strip audio from this one and then put a flash. He wants a flash symbol up, people. So what was your process of coming up with this team?
Well, the Casey Flash is great, but just the extra movement he gets from that TK just makes him insane. He can get across the map like that. And then Doc Magnus and Mercury work well together because Doc Magnus is special healing, and then he can get carried every turn by Mercury with that sidestep. So it's awesome. Like, it's a great synergy right there, I think.
There we go. So I know there's some swags you got.
Yeah, man.
He won't trade me the Red Robin, even though I offered.
I gotta have it. I can't see people.
I offered him a ton of swag for it, people. So, you know, I tried to do the celebrity bribe, and it didn't work. So, what did you think of the tournament today in general?
It was good. Glad Easton Brock wasn't here. Not calling them out, but the competition wasn't as stiff as I thought it could have been. And I think that actually kind of helped me quite a bit too.
Well, the good news is, like, I was here, so and then we had Daniel Powell. Yep. Daniel Powell made top 8. And then you ended up playing Daniel Powell.
I did. I got lucky against those double D20s. That's what it was.
Yes. I'm gonna let the Clickstoff cast talk about that because that wouldn't be fair. I feel like I'm robbing views. But definitely check out if you're over 18. check out Clickstoff interview because you're going to probably be on there talking with them, right? Or
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay. Was there anything that you were expecting to see that you didn't see?
It was only, one Quinjet team today?
Oh, there really was?
Yeah, and there was no Krangs. No one played Krang.
No one
only
played
one Quinjet. No Ultron swarms.
Wait. I thought... What was that one game that you were playing 8th round? Because I saw a bunch of drones on the sideline.
Iron Legion. Guy had...
Iron Legion?
Iron Legion people, yeah. I don't...
Hold on, wait. You have to see my face on this. Like, I can't talk smack. Dude made top 8. Can't talk smack. All right, so back to the Invisible Chairman. So that was the Iron Legion that you beat.
Yeah.
All right, so everything I thought that went on did not go on. So yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show. I know you're gonna listen to it and then show
every
up,
week, man.
and you're gonna show people this episode. He's like, look,
I was on it.
I was on the show.
My voice was on it.
My voice is on it. All right. Thank you for being on the show. That's the end of today's episode. If I can get the winner of the guy that was playing, he played Don't Die Tech and beat me in top 4. So, all right, that's it. I'm gonna do this. All right. Well, I was fortunate enough to get the interview with the winner of the event. He's willing to show his face.
Not after this.
Not after this. All right. So, what was your team?
It was Mystique, Resurrection Man, Dead Man with full Pandora's Box.
Okay. And I know there's some individuals out there that I know personally. That was going to play that team that didn't show up, who will probably going to have a little laugh right now that this won the event. So how did you come to that conclusion with those 3 in particular?
We came up with it last year at Origins, found out it was complete cheese, and didn't think about it until about 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, that's how it goes. All right, so you mean last Origins?
Yeah,
Okay.
2016.
Yeah, 2016 Origins. Okay, so what were you expecting to see today?
A lot of my teams. Expecting a lot of that. I will say I was not expecting some of the teams I went up against. Was not expecting a Supreme Intelligence that I saw here.
Yeah, that did show up.
Intelligence
Yes.
resource?
Yes. Oh, and the figure.
Hold on, wait. Hold on, folks. It was a full exhibit moment by Joey Z. Now, that is his name, Joey Z. It was Supreme Intelligence with the Supreme Intelligence resource with Toyman. And I think, Toyman or Toymaster, one of the toy guys. I forgot what it is. He's just cheap. So, yeah, so he really did say, hey, dog, I heard you like Supreme Intelligence. Let me put some Supreme Intelligence in your Supreme Intelligence. So, they're going back. Awesome camera work like I do there.
Tons of Ultron teams I was expecting to see, which I saw one of them when I went up against for the top 8. And actually only saw one of them. I was surprised in that.
Okay, cool. So, with that being said, what was anything interesting that you saw play? What was one of the few interesting things that you saw play?
Probably still the Supreme Intelligence. It was the most. Was expecting your Faust. I will say that one. Haven't seen that in about 2 years when that came out. It got nerfed. That one was a shocker. But those are 2 of the biggest ones.
Okay. Well, cool. So you got some cool swaggers.
Yes, I did.
What did you get for your swaggers, man?
I got Punisher Van, Turtles Van. I got all the Con LEs that you could buy and win at the last Origins, and then all the ID cards.
Oh, sweet.
And then I got the Prime and Chase sets from Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that's where it's worth it. Are they variant white or?
No, they're regular.
Come on, WizKids. You can.
Or at least let me choose.
You can do better than that. You already know. Variant. It's worth. You create this demon. You create this variant demon. You gotta live by that demon. All right, back to somebody that didn't make a Faustian contract with the devil to make their HeroClix team.
No, I did. It's too cheese. I signed a couple devils.
I'm right there with you. My team makes myself want to cry, but that's how it is. So you're in the St. Louis area.
Yes.
Is there? Well, shout out your venue so people can come dojo crashing.
Fantasy Shop down in West Clay. It's about half an hour from St. Louis.
Yeah, I played him and one of the other guys from the shop. Grade S level play, like high level play. definitely, if you want to test some metal, go up there, check them out, play them, let them know you're coming, so they'll bring the best. That's true. I'll tell you, I thought there weren't that many venues in Missouri that played. I'm glad to find out there's one more, and more importantly, there's one more that's really, really good. So, all right, any last words, shout outs, any other stuff?
I'm good. Thanks for playing, having fun today.
All right, and that's it for today's episode. Because I'm lazy. It's like less than an hour, I know.
We've been playing for 7 hours.
Yeah, but my shows are about an hour. So remember, we all have to start over sometime.